In the delicate dance of relationships, power dynamics often shift subtly, driven by how we respond to each other's actions and words. While many may think that maintaining control requires assertiveness or confrontation, Stoic wisdom offers a different path. Mastering oneself and using subtle, non-confrontational strategies that communicate strength. Today, we'll uncover 7 reverse psychology hacks inspired by Stoicism that allow you to maintain your boundaries and teach respect without ever raising your voice or stooping to conflict. These methods aren't about manipulation. They're about showing that true power lies in emotional composure, strategic thinking, and profound self-respect. Each of these approaches is designed to remind her and yourself that your worth isn't dictated by external validation or reactive behavior. Instead, it comes from being in command of your own actions, guided by the principles of calm, confidence, and resilience. Whether you're navigating misunderstandings, disagreements, or moments when your patience is tested, these hacks will empower you to uphold your dignity and subtly shift interactions in your favor. Lesson number 1: the power of indifference. Indifference is one of the most misunderstood aspects of Stoic philosophy. While many perceive indifference as a lack of care, the Stoic approach reveals it as a powerful tool for maintaining balance and control. Indifference to external validation or outcomes can unsettle those who seek to push your buttons or undermine your position. The key to using this principle as a reverse psychology hack is mastering your emotional responses. When someone expects you to react, whether through anger, jealousy, or frustration, choosing not to play into that expectation can shift the power balance entirely. She may be waiting for a reaction to assert control or gauge your level of interest. By remaining calm and detached, you disrupt the cycle, forcing her to reassess her behavior. Imagine a scenario where she is deliberately trying to evoke jealousy, perhaps by subtly flirting or showcasing other options. A common response would be defensiveness or confrontation. However, showing composed indifference signals that her actions don't sway you, making her question the effectiveness of her tactics. In time, she's drawn to the mystery of why her attempts don't provoke a reaction. This silent assertion of emotional control serves as the punishment itself, not through retribution, but through an unshakable sense of self-respect. Lesson number 2: the art of reversing expectations. Stoicism teaches the power of expectation management, not just for internal peace, but as a psychological tool. People tend to rely on patterns. They feel secure when they know what to expect. By reversing expectations, you introduce an element of unpredictability that disarms and resets the balance of power. Consider situations where she anticipates a particular response from you, such as compliance or agreement. Instead, subtly challenge her assumptions by taking an unexpected stance. For instance, if she expects you to chase after her or overly seek her approval, doing the opposite by stepping back and giving her space piques her curiosity. It shifts the focus from her control to your unexpected actions. This reversal isn't about being aloof to the point of detachment, but rather showcasing that your value isn't rooted in seeking validation or conformity. This approach makes her realize that your behavior isn't dependent on hers, a realization that can be surprising and thought-provoking. Lesson number 3: the subtle power of silence. Silence is underrated in its effectiveness. In a world dominated by endless noise and communication, silence stands out. Stoicism emphasizes pausing before reacting, using that pause to reflect and choose your response wisely. Silence, when used correctly, is not just the absence of words, but an assertion of power. If she anticipates a heated exchange, or expects you to explain yourself or plead during a disagreement, simply responding with silence can be disarming. It demonstrates that you are in control of your emotions and that you refuse to engage on terms dictated by emotional volatility. Silence can create an air of reflection that makes her wonder what you're thinking or feeling. This mystery can serve as a powerful reverse psychology hack. By maintaining your silence, you subtly let her come to her own conclusions, often realizing the weight of her actions or words without needing you to point it out. This, in effect, allows her to take accountability internally, a punishment far more effective than any confrontation. Lesson number 4. Using agreement as a deflection tool. Reverse psychology isn't always about outright disagreement. Sometimes it involves strategic agreement to redirect and diffuse tension. The Stoics valued harmony and the ability to diffuse potential conflict without compromising one's values. Agreeing unexpectedly, especially when she expects resistance, can catch her off guard and shift the conversation's energy. For example, if she's critical or suggests something with the expectation that you'll argue, acknowledging her perspective calmly can leave her unprepared. This doesn't mean compromising your beliefs, but rather employing agreement to show that her attempt to engage in a power struggle holds no ground. In many cases, agreement is the last thing expected. If a disagreement spirals into an argument, agree and watch how the power struggle dissipates. The conversation's energy deflates and the tone is reset, subtly signaling that your peace of mind is too valuable to be disrupted by the expected exchange. Lesson number 5. Practicing intentional absence. The concept of strategic absence is a compelling reverse psychology hack that can profoundly shift the dynamics of any relationship. Absence is not just physical, but emotional and mental as well. When you take a step back from a situation or interaction, you create space for reflection. Stoicism emphasizes the value of stepping away to regain perspective and ensure that you are acting in accordance with your principles, not out of impulsive emotion. When someone expects your constant presence, your intentional withdrawal can speak louder than any confrontation. This does not mean employing the silent treatment, which is passive-aggressive and punitive. Instead, it is about valuing your own space and time and using that to communicate self-worth and boundaries. If she is used to you always initiating conversations, checking in, or being available at her convenience, taking a step back and allowing some distance creates a psychological effect that encourages her to reflect on her own behavior. This strategic absence makes her realize the value of your presence and subtly punishes her by showing that your life does not revolve around her actions. Stoics like Epictetus would argue that we should be careful about what we give our attention to. By redirecting that attention away from an individual who takes it for granted, you create an environment where she becomes aware of your worth through absence. This absence prompts her to seek out the very interaction she once took as a given. Lesson number 6. Applying the counterintuitive compliment. Another powerful reverse psychology hack rooted in Stoic composure is the use of counterintuitive compliments. When someone expects criticism or defensiveness, a sincere compliment can disarm them. In relationships, especially during moments of tension, offering a compliment where she anticipates resistance creates confusion, diffuses tension, and reframes the interaction. For instance, if she is argumentative or trying to provoke a reaction, responding with something unexpected such as, "I admire your passion on this topic," can create a moment of pause. This tactic leverages a key Stoic principle: control over one's reactions. By choosing a positive response when a negative one is expected, you reclaim control over the interaction. It's not about being sarcastic or manipulative. It's about recognizing that positivity is an unanticipated tool in your arsenal. Such an approach forces her to rethink her position, shifting the energy from confrontation to self-reflection. It often results in her softening her tone or reconsidering the need for conflict altogether. This is a subtle way of punishing her through introspection rather than direct opposition, which aligns with the Stoic ethos of fostering tranquility. Lesson number 7. The withdrawal of attention. Attention is powerful currency in any relationship. What you give attention to grows, and what you withdraw attention from often diminishes in importance. Stoicism teaches that we should be mindful of where our focus goes, ensuring it aligns with our values and purpose. Withholding attention strategically can serve as an effective reverse psychology tool when someone is taking you for granted or pushing boundaries. In practice, this means purposefully shifting your focus away from behaviors or actions that are meant to provoke you. If she's acting out to get a response, through criticism, flirtatious behavior meant to trigger jealousy, or any form of emotional baiting, choosing to divert your attention can be powerful. This does not mean ignoring someone completely, which can be dismissive, but rather shifting your focus to something more productive and centered around your growth. For example, if she expects a reaction to something said or done that would typically elicit a response, choosing to stay focused on your own interests or conversations sends a message. It shows that your state of mind isn't easily manipulated or dependent on her behavior. This punishment isn't punitive in a harmful way. It teaches that your attention must be earned and valued.